We'll start the session now. Dr. Mohit, you are there?
Yes,
Okay. So
sure.
we'll start the session and the participants can keep joining. Uh, Good afternoon to everyone, especially to our host, Dr. Mohit Mazumdar, and his team who are there with him, and to all the attendees from Manav Rachna, both from the higher education platform and also from the schools. I would like to welcome you all to this very uh, intricate and informative subject which Dr. Mohit Majumdar will be talking about, which is Introduction to Big Data in Health Sciences. A brief introduction of Dr. Mohit Majumdar, who has over 10 years of research and industry experience besides his teaching experience. He is a master's in bioinformatics from Jamia Millia Ismailia and a PhD in computational biology and chemistry from JNU Delhi. He is an expert in machine learning, in biomedical and chemical data. Dr. Majumdar is a co-author in more than 25 research articles, 3 book chapters, and numerous international conferences. Presently, he is heading the global business development for Pine Biotech, which is based in USA, and contributing to its marketing and sales. He'll be talking to us about the intricacies of how bioinformatics can help us in all aspects of life. Thank you for being there with us, Dr. Mohit. I welcome you to the panel. And a word from my side to all the participants. My request is to please keep your queries and question till the end of the session and ask them through the chat box once Dr. Mohit Mazumdar has finished his session. I will now hand over the proceedings of the webinar session to Dr. Mohit. Over to you.
Thank you, Colonel Girish, sir, for this kind introduction. It's an honor to be here. I'm very excited today to meet you all for this innovative session. So, without wasting much time, I would like to maybe share my screen. So, just a second. Deeksha, can you stop the sharing?
Yes, Dr. Mohit. So over to you.
Okay, thank you. Just a second. Deeksha, can you see my screen?
Dr. Mohit, it is loading up right now.
Yeah, so I do have another login which I'm using because actually the calculation that I run on my
share my screen.
No, that's fine. It's just going to take a while. So I can share from the another system as well, which I've logged into. But the problem is that
see your screen right now.
Okay, just a second. It's loading for me. Maybe I will use the other login to do this. It's taking a while. Sorry about this. All right.
Yes.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Hello,
Oh, yeah.
everyone. So, welcome to today's session. And as we are starting this, I would like to start by saying that thank you all for joining today's session. And today, what we are going to do is that we are going to learn about, as Colonel Girish said, we are going to learn about something new, something that many of you might have heard of, many of you are interested in, and many of you might not have heard of. So today we are going to talk about big data in health sciences. So before I talk about today's session and what we are going to do during this entire meeting, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Mohit Mazumdar, and I'm a biomedical data scientist. And currently, I'm representing a company which is based out of US, but it all started from Tauber Bioinformatics Research Center, where there's a group of scientists who developed several platforms to help us all do complex analysis with ease. So that would be the topic that we'll be covering in today's session. However, to talk about my experience, I wanted to discuss this in the context because we all are here and I did all my education from India, and the challenges that I faced and the achievements that I've got out of those challenges and what I've learned and why we are doing this right now. So to answer all those, I would like to just give you a prelude that how it all started. So I was doing my high school, and then I wasn't sure that what I was actually looking for. So I was interested. I had a keen interest in biology, and I had a keen interest in computers. So just browsing and going to the internet, and also looking into different types of files that we have on the computer. So it just all started with very basic curiosity, but my interest was, however, was in biology, part of our life sciences, part of a domain or research. So I kind of started thinking about that, what I wanted to do. So when I looked into the internet and kind of found that there is something called bioinformatics, which is like an alignment where we are learning about biology through computer sciences. So today we will be discussing that, but from there I started my journey, and I did my undergraduation, and then I did my masters, and eventually, after doing masters in bioinformatics, I realized that it would require me more and more understanding to do real research, because what I was learning in all that time is a lot of theoretical aspects of biology, statistics, mathematics, and combining physics as well. So it was kind of overwhelming to understand all of those aspects and think that how do I code as well, with having this interest in biology. I was not good at coding, and I was like really scared at that point of time. So I joined PhD. It was a long journey. So that was in JNU. Before that, I was working with a company to help them with some of the resources that they wanted to develop using bioinformatics. But it was an exposure which was not good enough in the terms of research, like what is actually happening in the industry, what is going on in those pharmaceutical companies who are actually using data-driven techniques to understand and to solve some of their biggest problems in healthcare. So we were not connected to that during that period of time. And because also this field was evolving, so it was kind of new. Now, things have changed over the past 10 years. And over the past 10 years, I kind of accumulated a lot of knowledge during the project time, during my PhD time. I was able to collaborate with over 40 scientists all around the globe during my time at PhD, all thanks to my guide, Dr. Samudrala Gaurinath. and also Dr. Alok Bhattacharya and other scientists whom I was able to collaborate during that time. So that kind of exposure actually required a lot of dedicated time of my life, which I gave to be a researcher, to be a data-driven scientist. And I saw the hurdles uh, that I have to pass, or that the challenges that I have to come across, and the challenges that I have to solve. So those challenges were really, really demanding at times, because there is an expectation for us to do well, earn well as well. So that was about me. Now, based on based on all of those experiences that I've got during that time, we started to work for bioinformatics education and research. And I've been to Canada once for a training program for with a fellowship. And I realized that how educational system and how training differs from one place to another, and what are the international standards of working. So I went to University of Cambridge for another training, and then there I realized that how people are using the resources and the community to be able to come up with a ecosystem that is so beneficial for all of us who are learning and who wants to do something new. So about that, I would like to now talk about and tell you more about what this is, and how this is, and why we are even talking about this, why we are talking about biology as data science, why we are seeing everything as data now. So I think it's pretty much evident, and all of you kind of realize that this is an era for data. And the reason for that is because we are kind of now recording this data. So human beings evolved, and technology also evolved at the same time. But the evolution of technology in the last 10 years has been really, really rapid. And that enabled all of these institutions, governments, companies to be able to collect and store this data. The data that has been stored from like 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Now, after so many or so high level of now collection of data and detailed data, we are able to make predictions that how what we have seen and what could be done, or what could be predicted based on what we have seen. So it's a kind of model that we are preparing ourselves with based on the data. So today we are going to talk about those kind of models and those kind of data that has enabled us to make biomedical discoveries, and the advancements in biotechnology and the future of agriculture. So these are some of very interesting topics that that researchers are interested in, that governments are interested in, and also companies are interested in. Biology as data science and bioinformatics. What is bioinformatics? As I was telling you, bioinformatics is an amalgamation. So bioinformatics helps us understand biology, combining informatics, and have those broader understanding of how things are happening by looking at and analyzing what we have got from the experiments, what we have learned from the literature, and all of that. So what bioinformatics involves actually are three different fields combining together. So informatics, where we are looking into the information technology, data management, biology, biological research, biotechnology, and statistics, because what we are getting is data and we are trying to analyze that data. And talking about this entire bioinformatics paradigm, and also talking in the context of you all here. So I see that we have students, we have researchers, we have dean and people who are working with a real educational system. So to all of them, I just wanted to say that why we want you to be aware of this and apply this, because we kind of believe, and what we have seen through this data driven changes is that this would be the future of the century. And what we have seen is that information along with data, relevant data, yields to real outcomes. So that in the case of COVID-19. But for students like high school students, for students who are undergraduate students who have not had that information or that kind of a background that requires them to understand the field of bioinformatics, why would they study this? What is the need? Why should you study this? So that's a question that I wanted to answer. And that's a question that I wanted to tell you all, that bioinformatics involves several aspects. It involves ourselves. So to be able to understand about ourselves, what information does my body give to myself? Because it's a relevant field in the sense of healthcare. So, giving you an example of a doctor, so a person who is working with diagnostics, whom you go visit a doctor, and the doctor sees you and sees your uh, physical appearance, whether you're a male, whether you're a female, then sees your age, ask you for the age. So, those are all phenotypic information that a doctor is requiring to get from you to be able to give you that kind of perspective, or to give you a particular kind of a medication based on that information and the disease that you have. So that's a diagnostic or diagnosis process. So the diagnosis process has evolved from a phenotypic level to a genotypic level. So what is a genotypic level? So we are getting that information at a genetic level. And today we are going to talk about how we can all be aware of that and be more conscious about our health, about health of our loved ones. And also knowing about this information is going to help us understand what would be a good way to find a resource that is going to help us find a cure for for a disease that is not so much common. And why it is not so much common? Because we all are different, aren't we? And that is on the basis of our genetic information that we carry. And that's what we have realized. And today we are going to talk about that and how that is. Because as you see in this image here, we ourselves have chromosomes, right? You must all have been aware of chromosomes. Are you? So you can write it in the chat, and you can tell us that if you don't understand any of the concepts that we are talking about, and we'll be happy to tell you in much more detail, in much more depth, that what this is and why this is important. So chromosomes are we have 23 set of chromosomes that are very important because they carry the genetic information that makes us what we are and how we are. And those chromosomes are built out of chemical entities. So these chemical entities are called nucleotides, which are bonded together, and together they build the thing which is called the DNA. And the DNA, which is the basis of life, goes through a process of central dogma. So many of you might be aware of this process, many of you might not be aware of this process. So the process is very important, and you must all have heard about genes. You must have all have heard about proteins, that how genes and proteins are important in the context of human beings, in the context of living organisms, and in the context of healthcare. So a gene is built of the nucleotides that I've just shown you. And sorry. So these nucleotides, which helps us which helps us understand about ourselves, the understanding at a genetic level, which I was telling you about. And how this is important is because this entire system is starts from the DNA, and those codes in the DNA kind of helps in a process called transcription, where messenger RNA is formed in the next process, and then the proteins. And proteins are the functional unit that helps us, that helps our body to do specific tasks. So this all coding and this all these codes are pretty simple to understand, simple in the context that this is a chemistry, this is information from the chemistry, and this is the process. So we are trying to understand this entire process in the term that what this is from a genetic level, what information that what we are getting from this kind of uh, analysis. So the application of this analysis is in genomics. So genomics is a field that talks about and that enables us to learn about DNA and the genetic code. So giving you an example of cancer, cancer is a disease of the genome. So so in cancer, what happens is that we are trying to find out those mutations that that are happening in the genome. So you take an example of a normal person's genome, and you take a example of a person who has cancer. So when I'm saying genome, this word genome, uh, I just wanted to ask you that what are you visualizing when I'm saying this? So it's codes, right? It's like ATGC codes. So genomes are built of this ATGC code that I just showed you in the previous slide. And this code is when there is a mutation in this code, there is something bad happening, right? So we are learning that through this technology called genomics, and learning through what we are able to uh, we are able to get that code. We are able to get that code from human beings. We are able to get that code from viruses like coronaviruses, SARS-CoV-2. So we are able to see that code, and once you can see that code, you can analyze that code, right? Because you can compare it with a normal person, as I was telling you, that a normal person who does not have any form of cancer, a person who has uh, unfortunately cancer, and if you compare those codes, you will be able to find that like, right, there is this difference that I can see in this code, that might be related to this dreadful disease. So that's one type of analysis or application of genomics. That is what we are going to learn, and we are going to talk more about in this session. Another application is about to be able to design something for that person. So there are a lot of institutes in the US, and also like there are many institutes in India who have started to use this kind of information for precision medicine, for to find individuals that have problems that could be solved by learning about that individual. So as you can see in this image, a mutation caused deadly diseases, and our job is to find those mutations as scientists, as researchers, as citizens who can contribute for this in the area of this healthcare, um, and in this industry of this healthcare. So what we are trying to do in the context of information is that, so when we start our analysis, when we start our journey as a researcher and as a student, and when we were asked that when I was asked to do something to learn about new disease, I would do one thing. I would go to a resource where I'll find information about that disease, right? So the information about that disease can be from literature. So to learn about anything new, to learn about anything that we want to explore, we have to look into the literature. And fortunately, that is what I was telling you, that from the past 30 years, there is tremendous amount of literature that has been generated. And that's where we want your focus to be, because the data is being data in the context of in the context of industry is being used rapidly by for business models, for developing other important aspects of technology. Like we are using phone data so much, we are using all sort of data so much, all these companies, for shopping to other all the other aspects of life sciences, finances. So it's a huge aspect of data which is used in finances. Those fields are now being explored. And one field that requires intervention from all of us as a community is that field of life sciences, that is yet to be explored. And this data that has been growing exponentially has not been seen or been analyzed as it should have been, because also what kind of skill sets requires to understand this kind of analysis is little challenging. And to overcome those challenges, today we are going to show you that what we are doing as a company and what kind of resources and tools that we have developed. So this is big data. When I'm telling you what big data, I expect, or I think you can all visualize something, that what this big data is actually about. So when I say data, uh, you might be thinking about maybe a file that is of size, that is of size in megabytes. So if I say a text file which is of megabytes, so you must all have like have seen files which are like video files, the movies that you download. So those files are around like 700 to 1 GB, 4 GB, 3 GB, and that has all that has a lot of graphical information and audio information in it. So those are big files. But when I'm talking about the text files, when you're writing a Word file and submitting a report, what kind of size is that file of? That file is maybe 2 to 5 MB, 10 MB, 15 MB. So when you're putting a lot of data in a text file, and if that file size exceeded MBs and GBs, you cannot just open it in any computer, because it requires a lot of processing power to be able to handle that kind of data. So that kind of data can have certain features, that's why we tell it to be a big data. So it has volume, velocity, veracity, value, and variety. So these are some of the features that the data has, that tells about the the characteristics of the data. So the characteristics is that the data is very big. It is complex data because it has a lot of information that we are not aware of. That kind of information is about ourselves, is about the health system. It's about the genetic information that we are getting from this sort of analysis. So about that, if I look into the genomes that have came across in last few months, and especially COVID-19, so many of you might be interested in learning more about COVID-19 and what's going on, and how this sort of pandemics can be controlled in the context of the challenges that scientists are facing, and because the kind of problems that we have all faced. So data, you can see here, that has there's so much data that have been deposited by scientists all around the globe to help us understand the mechanisms of COVID-19. So this data growth has been tremendous, that is helping us to be able to work on this field. So as I was telling you, starting from the physical information that you see, and how can you relate that information to what is within inside us. So why we are like this, why we have like an individual characteristics, why my hairs are like this, why my nose is like this, why I differ from you, why I my genetic information and the way I look is can be learned about. So this is the information that we are learning about using this sort of technology. So we are comparing patients, we are comparing populations, we are comparing, and we are talking about all those things that can be analyzed now in the context of a disease, in the context of biotechnology, in the context of agriculture. So how, for example, we are learning about I'll give you an example in agriculture. So in agriculture, what is happening is that we are learning about uh, mutant variants of a tomato, for example, a mutant variant of a tomato which does not ripe, and it is a mutation which is a kind of prevalent. So another example is a ripened tomato, which you can look into, and you can see the features of those tomato, that why this is so well ripe, and why this variant of tomato is having problems in becoming ripened. So to get that information, we kind of analyze at a genetic level, that what differences are happening, what proteins, expression of proteins have changed. So these informations are collected through this omics technology called genomics, epigenomics, transcriptomics. So in transcriptomics, what we are looking at is that what we are looking at the genetic expression. In epigenomics, we are looking at histone modifications. So these are all happening at a genomic level. But when you collect all this information, that what is happening at a genomic level, like DNA methylation and ChIP-seq is a technique which gives you information about this histone modifications that are happening there. Then there is genomics, which I told you is about the sequences. It's about the code, learning about the code, that how code is changing from a disease state to a normal state. Then transcriptomics looks at the expression of genes, that what genes at at an individual time. So you're angry, okay, and you're upset. So at all these events that we do, like the dynamic events, when you went to a hill station, when you went to a beach, so all this environmental changes and all this changes that we are going through, when you get got cold, and when you're healthy, when you're going to a gym, when you're not going to a gym. So these are all time point based data, right? So at one state, I'm comparing that what is happening to us when we are going to gym, what is happening in our body when we are not going to the gym. So what kind of information I'm getting? I'm looking at the level of protein changes that are happening, that what expression, how the expression of protein changes when I'm at a state, when I'm not well, when I'm well. So we can find out the root cause of why this change has happened, and what this implies to. So that information that we are looking at, we got it in a form of table, we got it in a form of data. And this entire process of converting this information into data is a technical challenge. And because it's a big data, I told you, it has a characteristics, and we need infrastructure to be able to process this data. And also we need a level of expertise and guidance to be able to understand the real meaning of this data, because big data has a lot of noise and lot of challenges. And I was telling you that about machine learning. Machine learning is how machine learning is helping in this context. So next, about viruses. I told you about the COVID-19 situation, and there are labs here in India, and being connected with some of the scientists here working in India on these sequences and these sort of analysis. One of the institutes that I should mention is IGIB in Delhi. They have collected they have sequenced and collected, and after this variant came from the UK variant and from South Africa, we are kind of looking at data at a visual level. And this sort of information is something that we want to provide to the student community, to the researchers, to the faculty who would benefit from this kind of research, from this detailed data, to come up with some of the things that are yet to be found in the context of this disease, in the context of understanding any disease and spread amongst human beings. So the COVID-19 research, we have been actively involved in COVID-19 research, and that research involves, understanding at an evolutionary level, learning about the scientific literature, and 3D analysis, 3D structural analysis. So in the context of our roadmap of this bioinformatics, what we are trying to do is enabling scientists, students, biologists, and high school students, undergraduate students, and researchers to be able to explore this field and understand the complexity in the sense that they could able to understand why this is happening and what kind of information I can get from individual data sets, what could be the research method, how can I explore and visualize this and gain insights, understand, publish, or talk about this to the scientific community that okay, this is my finding, this is what I found, and this is why my learning, you get connected to the international community. So all of those things that we'll be talking next in this uh, in this presentation. And I mean, the problem is well defined now. You understand that what are the challenges, what we are looking at, why this data and information is important for all of us to go through and learn. Maybe it is about us, maybe it is about our career, maybe it is about contributing to the society. So it actually covers all those aspects, bioinformatics and data science in this current world, and that's why biology as data science. Mm, so after defining this, after understanding this, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to see those questions in the chat box. But to tell you more about that, what we are doing as a company, what we are doing as contributors in education, is that we have created this Omicslogic training and uh, research programs that are helping students at every level. So these are well designed and conceptualized trainings that have been created by world-renowned scientists. So we have these sort of levels where we have structured information for based on the school curriculum. We have a structured plan for college and university level curriculums, and we have structured analysis pathway for PhDs, postdocs, and researchers and faculty to be able to analyze this data, to be able to talk about and do research in infectious diseases like viruses, cancers, like precision oncology, which I talked about, and genomic medicine. So to talk more about this and to talk more about how this training actually works, and how this addresses all the problems and what we can do in these trainings, along with what we syllabus that we are covering, and why this is important to do in the context of the future. I'll just pass it on to Miss Beepsha now to tell you more about the Omicslogic platforms and our Omicslogic training program. And if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer those as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mohit. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Peepsha Biswas, and I am the Omicslogic Community Manager responsible for daily interaction with thousands of users who are part of our bioinformatics community managed by Pine Biotech. Over the past couple of years, we have seen participants from all over the world join our training programs, take online coursework, and utilize our big data analysis tools in various research projects. Omicslogic is a program for bioinformatics training that was developed in collaboration between Pine Biotech and the Tauber Bioinformatics Research Center, as Dr. Mohit was telling you. What we will discuss today is a result of hard work by an amazing team led by company co-founders, Dr. Alfred Tauber and Dr. Leonid Brodsky. Dr. Tauber comes from a medical background and has extensive expertise in oncology, immunology, and biochemistry of inflammation, and has been recognized internationally for his generous support of many research projects and initiatives that support data science training and applications in medicine. Dr. Leonid Brodsky is a director of the Tauber Bioinformatics Research Center at the University of Haifa in Israel and is an expert in bioinformatics and biostatistics. He has numerous publications in mathematics and bioinformatics, and over the course of his career has developed multiple novel algorithmic approaches to biomedical data analysis. The rest of the team includes experts in bioinformatics, computer science, training, and as you're seeing, some of the team members are presenting today. So along with our team and our collaborators, we are reaching out to universities, research labs, and institutions around the world to offer cutting-edge research, training, and education. Here are a list of some of our collaborators and the universities we are collaborating with, both in US as well as in India, and other universities also in Africa. To impart this training, we have a specialized program called Omicslogic. The goal of the Omicslogic programs is to provide training in bioinformatics, enabling independent research guided by mentors and peer example, developing a growing community with shared passion for data-driven research and appreciation of citizen science, enabling students, clinicians, and faculty of all backgrounds to develop novel and independent research using latest technology in life and data sciences. What we do as part of this training is combine online sessions like today, self-guided study materials, and practical assignments for an immersive experience that has proven to be effective in our well-known and respected Omicslogic programs. So to explain this more, we have a training period where in a week, we will meet once or twice in a live session like we're having right now to interact with the students directly and talk about a subject matter. Post that training, the students are offered some study materials. These are self-study or asynchronous courses, as well as projects that the student starts from at a very basic introductory level. And once they go through these courses, they learn about the logic and they learn how to apply that utilizing the Bioinfo platform, which we will be talking about in just a few more slides. So utilizing these platform, we'll learn how to do next generation sequencing data analysis or NGS data analysis, and then understand that data. And this would be done where a mentor will guide the students through that entire process of learning, understanding. And we also have a platform on coding where we teach R in Python for bioinformatics. So that is meant to actually guide you with learning how to use R or Python as a tool for bioinformatics and not necessarily to learn R or Python, so that we can utilize all these different tools and make it easy for you to understand what the data is saying, to visualize that data and run an analysis where you could present a project, which is the goal of the Omicslogic program, is to enable you to become more efficient in understanding the data and then applying it to your own biological question that you would want to answer. Our purpose via this Omicslogic training is to help not only students, but also researchers, faculty, as well as clinicians learn about big data by simplifying the complex data-driven research. In the next part of the presentation, we will try to address some of the questions regarding this training program. So what is Omicslogic training? As I already explained that it's a very step-by-step process where we start with very introductory courses, and then we move through the different stages where we do some advanced coursework and then go to answer a research question, which a student, a researcher, or a clinician would like to address utilizing big data tools and analysis. And we'll also cover what will be covered in the sessions, how much time a student would need to devote to a training program like this. And before we do that, I want to introduce you to our team and the faculty. So in this period of training, you will have the opportunity to interact and collaborate with an international team of experts specialized in the areas of bioinformatics and data-driven research. Dr. Harpreet Kaur is our Omicslogic trainer and expert bioinformatician who will mentor sessions and guide you through the program. Her area of specialization is in cancer genomics. Dr. Mohit Mazumdar, you have already heard from him, is our Omicslogic project mentor. And Ilya Brodsky is our CEO and co-founder at Pine Biotech. His experience in research in academia has led to many research labs and university collaborations and has been recognized for the simplified approach to omics analysis for education. We also have Dr. Julia Panov, who is a PhD in bioinformatics, and she's currently working with TBRC. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Harpreet Kaur to share a few words and talk about her experience with the students and this Omicslogic training program. Hello, Dr. Kaur, over to you.
Thank you, Bipsa. So, hello everyone. So, my name is Harpreet Kaur, and I have a PhD in bioinformatics from Bioinformatics Center, CSI Institute of Microbial Technology, Chandigarh, and JNU, New Delhi, under the supervision of Dr. GPS Raghav and Dr. Balvinder Singh. And my doctor research topic was on biomarker discovery for the diagnosis and the prognosis of the liver cancer. In my current role, I'm Omicslogic bioinformatics trainer with Pine Biotech. Here I'm assisting participants to learn about data analysis, machine learning, visualization in the application to the large data set used in the biomedical research. Besides, I am involved in designing different research projects using publicly available datasets. So during this program, I will assist all the participants in their projects as well as in their courses. So thank you everyone. I'm looking forward to become a mentor during this program. So over to you, Bipsa.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harpreet. Now I would like to pass this session back to Dr. Mazumdar to take it forward. Over to you, Dr. Mazumdar. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Harpreet, and thank you, Bipsha, so much for introducing our company and the Omicslogic programs. So to elaborate you more and without boring you more with the information, let's look at some of the resources that we have developed and that we are offering with our trainings that are making this training an innovative and really a unique experience for all of us, because this is the only training system that enables a lot of visual AI guided materials to help students, and also enables them through guided, mentored, internationally mentored expert sessions. So to tell you more about this, we have three platforms, or we will be showing you the platforms where you can learn from these courses, and how we are tracking all the progress that you're making through these systems, and enabling our university partners to be able to see the outcome of this sort of training. So we'll be talking about two different platforms here, which is one for learning and another one is for doing the experiments. So the big data experiments that you can do and do the research on with us. So let's just do that. Let's go to the site. Here we have the first site, learn@omicslogic.com. So the learn@omicslogic.com has the resources that we just were talking about. So it talks about the application of big data. So the application of big data and how anyone without any background can do this training and learn and be a citizen scientist and be a researcher at a very early level. So that, I mean, people who are starting at a undergraduate or a high school level, if they learn this, and how this is helpful for them is because they can understand that how this research is being conceptualized, what is happening in the industry, and they can plan their future up right there based on this current modern biomedical research that is enabled through the platforms. So as you see that this platform has different other resources like courses, which are a part of all the trainings that we do. So this courses actually enables us to learn things at with very, very ease. So these courses are kind of available all the time to to our participants and the program researchers. So what we do is that we enabled and we have collected and recorded all this videos to help you go through these lessons. So if you're interested in learning R, and if you want to learn about how bioinformatics is applied in R, and like starting from basic things like uploading data, installing R, why how you can do this in your own computer, and also you can do this all of these things by just click of your mouse. So once you learn about the concept, learn about the code, the next part is to try it yourself. So we already have a code block here, so you can write your own code based on the learning that you have gained from this session, and then run it yourself in this platform, coding platform, within this browser. So you don't require any sort of infrastructural resources to go through this training. Second part of it, other than coding, is the are the courses. So these courses, for example, we have a COVID-19 course here. We have basic courses on genomics, metagenomics, all those data types, introduction to bioinformatics, introduction to data science. So this is a course for high school students that we have just started. So this is, for example, you can see here the video.
Bytes and molecules. Every living cell has its own hard drive where it stores bytes of information needed to function and grow, adapt to environmental changes, and fight off dangerous intruders. This information is stored in molecules that are arranged in sequences of letters, referred to as DNA code. In the 1990s, a tremendous effort by governments, researchers, and companies resulted in the full sequence of the human genome. Since then, we've seen an exponential growth of molecular data that describes cells, tissue, organs, and organisms. Massive data sets containing genetic information about the young, old, healthy, and sick are now freely available to the public. Here, we will explore the various omics data types as well as examples of the information they contain, genomic variants associated with ancestry, gene expression levels responsible for cancer spread, and protein modifications that can render important code unreadable. This course is intended for all those interested in understanding how the current revolution in biomedical data impacts biomedical research and human health. Bytes and molecules.
So as you saw that this is not just text, it has visual information, live videos, and the sessions like the one we are having. So we kind of want to cover all the aspects, and uh, we want to talk and discuss with all of our participants, may that because we understand that all the students who came from different backgrounds have different research interest, have different level of understanding. So it's a personalized training along with the resources, asynchronous resources that are provided with this sort of training. So this is one of the resource that we wanted to show you all. Another resource, and of course there are, as I saw in the comments, there are several free stuff that you can check out here, and also to in the other sites that we will be discussing. And a lot of free stuff will be for you to develop a deeper understanding of what these fields are and how data science and biology, part of data science, is applied. So you will learn about machine learning and how to look into those mutational data sets that we discussed, and then utilize the publicly available resources. And to do that, I mean, the part where we are like, why these courses and this training is not free, to give you a straight answer, it's because we are doing very computationally expensive experiments to come up with these research, high-end cutting edge research solutions. So that is done through the Tauber Bioinformatics Research Platform. So this is the second platform that we use for our training. So this platform has these different data types. So to analyze these different data types through your browser, we have developed this cloud-based platform, which is an AI guided platform, to show you how it works and why this is for everyone to learn from, why our high school students are doing so well and coming up with their own projects in a short period of time. It's because of this amazing platform. So I'll show you this one demonstration, that this is a point and click system. So in our sessions, in our videos, in our courses, you'll learn about these processing algorithms. So these are called, pipelines. So we start from, like in a pipeline, if you imagine a funnel. So the data comes from the top, and then it goes through, and the in a funnel, it goes into that smaller hole. So the data is being filtered from like a lot of data to a level that we are getting the real information from it. So if you see that this is a point and click system, and we learn through this, and it's really useful for training, because we have already uploaded cell line and like the publication based data sets here. And the AI guided system tells you about the next step, that what the next step you would want to take and build your pipeline. So we are kind of giving you all the information right here, in even in the click buttons, that what this step is, what are the input files, what are the output files, so that you can just download and learn from them. So let me do this. And then what we are doing here is that we are actually processing a breast cancer patient sample here. And we have started with cleaning that sample, and then we will align that sample to a reference genome. A reference genome is one that has been already is well annotated, so something to compare with a normal person. And this is a cancer person whom we are comparing this. So this all is done through a graphical interface here, and that's like really helps us to do the experiment with ease and learn the logic and get the results from this, that what is happening. And to do this like in a lab of our own, we have actually to have to do this on a command line system, learning about the tools and installing them in a specific operating system. So all those things are challenges that we faced during our PhD time. And then we realized that this could be done easily and a shorter period of time. So what training we are doing is for 3 months, 6 months, and so on. And then there is fellowships. So in this training, what we are doing is that we are learning about from the basic courses, that how to understand about these data types, and then how to apply these data types into real research. And then we are kind of doing examples, and those examples are at in like different domains. So here you can see that we write blogs. This is the blog we published yesterday about malaria and application of NGS datasets and bioinformatics resources. This is a sort of a detailed blog. And what we are here using is like, and this is also free for all of you to check out. So Beepsha, if you can just, maybe I can share the link myself. Just a second. Check this out, check this resources out if you're interested in this sort of malaria research. So we did this for our participants in bioinformatics for infectious diseases. That's an ongoing program that is happening with Noguchi Memorial Institute in Ghana. So here what you can see is that we have compiled this entire document just to for you to understand what malaria is and where you can find data about malaria. So we keep on writing these sort of articles here to help our students about this opportunities, about the current research. You can see here new variants and the vaccines. We had a session on that. And then these training programs that we are doing with the universities. So this is about infectious diseases, then about Alzheimer's data that we published last month. So we also have students and researchers who are doing like exceptionally well with this. She is an undergraduate student, and if you can see her blog, she has done excellent research in her 3 months training, where Dilara was able to work on her own project that was about radiation threats to human in space using this data. So we have high school students who are doing similar projects, and we have also PhD and postdoc students and faculty who are doing their own research. So from here, I just wanted to move back to my presentation and show you that what we have got from so far after 2 years of working in India and doing several pilots with different universities to test and validate this training. So as you saw that we are using these platforms where we are telling and where we are mm, using the resources such as introduction to bioinformatics, epigenetic, metagenomics, genomics, transcriptomics, and apply machine learning to these data sets. And this entire process is individualistic. Why? This is personalized for every student, because every students get to have a profile of their own where we and a batch to see their own progress and points that they have accumulated. They use these AI guided systems and our coding platforms which are connected to these profiles, and all of your activity is being graded. You get points to do all these activities in a program, and that those points are ultimately helps you pass the course, get a certificate, and all those things. So the third platform, which is the Code Omicslogic platform, have the R and Python training that enables you to understand that how can you visualize and do more out of this kind of analysis. So to those who are like much into programming, this is a program for them. So we, as I was telling you, that the programs run for months, and then we look into the progress of the group. So this is for a university to check the outcome of a program and the student progress, how they have progressed through different challenges that they have seen in and worked through this entire training. So a typical profile helps you. It's an academic profile which is available for you to share in your LinkedIn, and also to share and talk to like conferences. For example, you wanted to go for an international conference, and you need to have an application. You want to apply for a uh, for a course outside India. You want to apply for the top universities and institutes in India. So this sort of profile helps you with that, because it shows you the research that you have contributed in, the courses you have completed, and with every course you get a certificate as well. And then apply machine learning into these sort of data sets using coding. And we have different kind of, like as I was showing you in our server, let me just go back here. You have different file types, as I was telling you about the NGS data, mass spec data, structural data. So this is all healthcare data that we are analyzing from this. So we have machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, and all this tools and techniques. Again, the same interface. You can easily build these machine learning toolkits and run your data by clicking just like that. So with all that, like courses, practical assignments, and live sessions, we are trying to help and identify individual problems within the student community. So if you have a problem and your peer or your batchmate learns, then it would be you who will be focused on and to be bring you at the same stage where the whole cohort is. And to do that, we have these many online asynchronous materials, and we are conducting these different unique programs throughout the year with our university partners, where we are conducting programs on genomic medicine, infectious diseases, because many students are learning and doing infectious disease research, and then COVID-19, and then a month long semester long course that gives them an in-depth analysis, which includes an extensive pre-assessment, mid-assessment exams. These are, of course, credit-based courses that we have designed in collaboration with universities to enable students to go through this entire process with the help of their faculty and come up with this research projects that the faculty can use for a grant or a publication. And again, the students also gets that appreciation. So using data science as a technique and using data science to apply and gain insights is one of our key objectives. And we are helping students by providing them internships and fellowships, who are the students who have gone through this entire training, providing them with employability options within the group that are available. And also our social media channels, where keep on posting about the available internship opportunities and fellowship opportunities that student can gain in addition to their curriculums. So one of the example, as I was telling you, that we have several of these examples. So how this is helpful for faculty, because our objective as a company is to enable our partner university develop this entire program using these resources. So the use of these resources enables the faculty to do their own research if they're interested in any sort of research that they have a keen interest in, which is data driven. We are kind of helping them throughout this entire process. And the best part of this is that the students who are going through this training are also collaborating in a group project with the faculty, because they are now trained. They understand that what data types are and how to do a certain analysis. Some of them are good in writing, some of them are good in analysis, some of them are good in review. So these groups are working together to help in a project using the platforms and the resources, and also the live sessions and the mentor support that we give throughout this program, which is like kind of 24/7, which is leading to research publications and project funding opportunities for the university and the faculty. So I'll pause here for a second, and Beepsha, if you can run a poll and let us ask you all about how do you feel about this entire process yet, and if you have any questions, please go ahead and let us know about your questions. So you can see a poll in front of your own screens. So please feel free to submit your poll. And if you found this session poor, I will be happy to learn about and improve this session. And of course, I had a few challenges with the system today. So sorry about that. But I would love to know more about all of you, that what do you feel and how do you feel about this, and what is that you want to ask us about this entire process. So we'll keep the poll on for a while, and feel free to put in your answers there. So as I was telling you that you saw several curriculums, similarly we have designed curriculums for our high school students. Sorry, high school students. So where we are starting from a basic introduction to bioinformatics, and then these different courses are there, and then data science. So anyone who has interest in data science can look into the data science aspects of how data science techniques, machine learning can be applied to this data, rather than going much in depth about the biology. But obviously, once you have information, structured information, the next step is to go into the biology, look into the information which is all available publicly. So what we are trying to do in this program is to enable everyone to explore the publicly available data and what information is there in the internet, which is a lot, and that is leading to a really great research works. And to give you example, that like we have these COVID-19 program where many participants came and did their own project. Uh, just a second.
I've also shared a link in the chat for everyone to see the kind of projects that we do along with our student community as well as our other participants and researchers. So you will be able to see these project examples and explore the kind of projects we are doing, and enabling students right from high school level to get started with a bioinformatics project, understand the analysis, as well as go ahead and apply that logic and understanding to the own biological problem that they would like to address, which could be in any of these areas. As we see in the poll that a lot of you are interested in precision oncology, infectious diseases, neuroscience. And I would also like to ask everyone, if you have any other interest, please post those interests in the chat box so that we may know more about it. Thank you. And Dr. Mohit, over to you again.
Thank you, Bipsha. Yes. So as I was telling you that these programs include international faculties as well. So this is another program that we did and was open to students in India. But what we are looking forward to do in India is to find a university partner, like we have this in US. Science Coach is an organization whom we have collaborated for high school programs. And some of the examples that you can see, Hannah is a high school student, so she had interest in diabetes, and she did her project and presented and got an award in her short training that she did in her during her school. And similarly, what we are trying to do in India is to develop similar joint certification with a university partner and enable and bring this training and bring an research ecosystem. So what we are trying to do here is that to be able to bring a bioinformatics certification that could be a joint certification, and that course, to develop a course that could lead into a research ecosystem, which means that we will have students who will be working on projects, going through this entire training in collaboration, a long-term collaboration leading to research projects, research training, and research grants. And eventually to build, my objective here in India is to uh, mm, build this program with a university partner and to create sort of internship or entrepreneurship hubs, where we are trying to give this material to a trainer who can go on and teach this at the different universities that are there in remote areas where people are not getting much of this information or the current knowledge. So in that context, we have been able to establish similar student-led startups in Gujarat. So it's a Omics club that we have started. And similarly, we have established a couple of those trainings in Africa, especially in Nigeria, where students who have gone through this training are enabling others at their school or at their colleges, and also becoming a part of our training programs, online international training programs. So they are becoming mentors, and they are teaching other students and conducting hackathons and conferences. And there are also the community. So because this is a part of a community, so we have like a lot of students and researchers from all around the globe. So we have almost 5,000 people who are researchers, scientists, company CEOs, all are there in our community doing and exploring this. So there's a lot of opportunities that we are providing in terms of international exposure, student exchange before the pre-COVID times, and also like hybrid programs. So with this information, I would like to just want to give it to Colonel Girish sir. So this actually kind of concludes our session and our training programs. And I would like to hear from you, sir, and if you have any concluding remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohit. I would again request the participants, if there is any question from anyone's side, then you can put that in the chat box. We'll wait for 30 seconds or so. So, in conclusion, Dr. Mohit, I think your explanation about bioinformatics and its nuances has been received very well by the audience. I could understand. I would like to thank on behalf of Manav Rachna, you, Professor Harpreet, who spoke in between, and your team members, Ms. Beepsa, for taking such an informative session for us. It has been very useful to us. I would be sharing the recording link also with everyone. And I look forward to further more interactions with you and your team in future. We wish
Thank
you
you,
a
sir.
very safe and wonderful day ahead. Thanks once again.
Thank you, sir, and thank you everyone here who joined this session and stayed till the end. And I'm sorry if we were not able to explain and answer some of your questions. We'll be happy to do that if you can email us or if you can reach out to us through our platforms. You'll find there's a chat button where you'll find me and Miss Beepsha. So you can directly chat to us if you have any interest. And again, as Colonel Girish sir said, that we'll be interacting more and we'll be letting you know about any upcoming program that we are planning together. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day and happy weekends.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Mohit. Just on an ending note, I have shared my email in the chat box. So if you are looking at some of the free resources or you want any kind of guidance on utilizing the platforms, you can also email us marketing@pine.bio, and I will be able to help you with all of those resources as well as any kind of information regarding the training, research, or any other interest that you may have. And I want to thank Colonel Girish sir for giving us the opportunity. And thank you so much, Dr. Mohit, for guiding today's session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.